Hi, my name is Danielle, and for my final project, I will be doing an extension of the 1984 Where's the Beef campaign for Wendy's beef burgers called Where's the Real Beef? This campaign will be the next chapter in a continuation after the Square's the Beef campaign, which also played off of the nostalgia of the Where's the Beef campaign. Some challenges that this campaign will need to address include the average consumption of beef in the United States decreasing, while the number of recalls related to frozen and processed meats increasing. Additionally, plant based meat substitutes have grown in popularity due to the perceived health benefits compared to red meat. There are also very negative sentiments around the meat processing industries due to environmental concerns and inhumane conditions for the animals. To address these challenges and change the sentiment and brand image of beef burgers, Wendy's campaign would emphasize that plant based meats are more expensive for the consumer and have a similar calorie content compared to beef burgers. Not to mention that the taste and texture of beef burgers is still preferred to that of imitation meat. Overall, plant-based protein is still seen as a supplemental option for non-vegetarian consumers. It is not a complete substitute in most consumers' diets. There is still a traditional sentiment and preference for traditional meats even amongst millennials and Gen Z. This can best be seen by the low percentage of millennial parents that feed their own children meat compared to meat substitutes. Four main theories apply to this campaign. The first are the needs of the elaboration likelihood model, which addresses both the central and peripheral processing needs of consumers who are persuaded by more logical messaging, such as the need for facts from an expert, like a physician, about plant protein competitions, and also those persuaded by peripheral messaging from celebrities and influencers who they find socially and physically attractive. In the central route messaging, social learning theory is also applied as the consumers learn the desired behavior from a credible model and witness how such model is rewarded with a delicious meal similar in health risks to a plant based burger. Entertainment education is also applicable in the instance where an ad uses humor to teach consumer about the different plant based negative effects. An example of this would include an ad that showcases the cost differences between a plant based burger and a beef burger, as well as the difference in the taste and the texture and the calorie count similarity between the two. While on the surface level, this may seem as if the purpose of the ad is for entertainment and humor, specifically humor related to the humor related to the incongruity resolution theory. That is what is the surface level presentation. However, according to entertainment education, this is actually teaching the consumers about the negative sides of the plant protein based competition compared to beef patties. And lastly, cognitive dissonance theory in general for primary and secondary audiences that may feel a negative perception towards their behaviors for not buying plant based proteins that are perceived as more health conscious, environmentally conscious, and animal friendly. However, these instances where plant based proteins are not found to be more healthy and are more cost priced, that shows that they have that reduced cognitive dissonance towards not choosing those options and sticking with a beef alternative. The main objectives of this campaign are to alter the consumer's attitudes towards Wendy's beef burgers in particular, and to increase the number of consumers in the target audiences to purchase said Wendy's beef consumers burgers. The goals are specifically to increase market share in the fast food industry space by 10% and to increase the revenue to an average of $2.44 billion, which was the average cost in the early to mid 2000s for the revenue targets for Wendy's. And lastly, to increase brand affinity, loyalty, and online buzz, which remain in lower percentages compared to Wendy's overall brand awareness. The primary audience for this campaign includes millennials and Gen Z that have a higher social media usage, but are also in a low to mid class economic status. They are students and or early in their careers. However, they do still carry the same sentiments of being environmentally and health conscious, as well as being aware of inhumane conditions for animal cruelty, being on the more liberal left-winged end, and also requiring time efficient and cost efficient needs. Similar to them are the secondary audience, where we see millennials who are parents to children that are under the age of 18 that share similar sentiments across the board, in addition to the time and cost efficiency, specifically around being able to feed their children healthy and yet quick and efficient meals. The big idea behind Where's the Real Beef campaign embodies that this is a fresh, authentic beef patty with a nostalgic twist from a previous and beloved campaign, and highlights the high quality standards and transparency of this product amongst all of the recalls and uprise of meat substitutes. The message strategy will focus primarily on online media and social media platforms, as this is what is the preferred channels and the most used channels amongst millennials and Gen Z, and will also feature TV cable channels as these listed here, billboards, and streaming services that are most popular amongst these primary and secondary audiences, and where they spend most of their time and find most of their buying decision information. The message strategies will feature advertisements such as these two, where you can see the highlighted difference between a happy customer who is able to get more for their money related to a beef patty meal versus the same cost of a meat alternative burger that would cost the same as the combo next to it, and a calorie count comparison with the expert led physician showing that they are endorsing and or showing the behavior as a positive one compared to what people assume is a healthier meat option. In conclusion, this campaign includes all of the counter arguments necessary to combat against the rise of the plant based meat market, and emphasizes transparency against all of the meat bans and the recalls that are happening amongst all the inhumane meat processing industries as well, and the logistical, emotional, and theory appeals that have a combination of the necessary needs for both the primary and secondary audiences, whether they need a more logical appeal with facts, expert led arguments, or if they need a more peripheral, sentiment, emotional appeal. And the metrics that we will measure represent around the brand affinity, loyalty, and sentiment, as well as online media traffic, reach, and buzz. And these are my references. Thank you.